Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste children. Today we are going to talk about the topic in history is chapter 1 how, when and where. In part 1 we are going to see introduction, how important are dates, which dates, how do we periodize, what is colonial. Let us start with a small definition for the history is we define history as a study of a past, a collection of the past events. Here look at these words that is how, when and where. These are primary words associated with history or any past event. How did the present day system has occurred? What happened before this system has got in place? How did the system come over? All these questions are answered in history. Here there is an example for how, when and where. How did that happen? When did that happen? Where it happened? Even these words that is how, when and where can be used in future tense. Since we are reading history, here we are stick on to the past tense. The first topic of this chapter is how important are dates. When we read history, we see a lot of dates, and this is reason history is boring and it is difficult to remember so many dates. We must understand that history is much more than dates. History is actually a comparison of past and present. Here we can have an example. While we drinking a tea, we might have been questioning or thinking, how did tea plantation started in India? When did people begin to drink tea? Here we can see the two set of questions, how and when. How, which refers to the explanation or reason, and when, which means the dates. Yes, people in India did not begin drinking tea one fine day. They developed a taste for it over a time. There can be no one clear date for when we have been started to drinking tea. Similarly, we cannot fix one single date on which British rule was established or changes took place within economy and society. All these things happened over a stretch of time. Yes, now we can go for the second topic, which dates. Yes, which dates become important? We choose to write history around some dates and then those dates become important. This happens because people focus on some major events like war that they believe are important. But with time, a new set of events might come into focus and new dates become important. Let us see further. Example, the histories written by the British historians in India, the rule of each Governor General was important. Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India in 1773 and the last Viceroy is Lord Mountbatten. Here we can see many Governor Generals as well as Viceroys, they have been took part here, but what are all their activities, policies, achievements, everything, the dates have been mentioned and clearly they have been noted down. And here in the histories that revolve around the life of the British Governor Generals and their activities, but they didn't give any space to the Indian people. So under this topic, we can see what are all the contribution is given by the Governor General as well as the Viceroys. It has been clearly we can see all the events have been noted according to the dates. The third topic is now we are going to see how do we periodize. Under this, we can see how the James Mill he just explained about India and British. Now we see about the James Mill. James Mill was a Scottish economist and a political philosopher. He published a three-volume work called The History of a British India in 1817. He divided Indian history into three periods. James Mill divided Indian history into three periods, that is Hindu, Muslims, and British. Here he says that before the British period, he divides India into two, that is a before British period and after British period. Before British period, he says that the ancient societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe, and moreover, he says that in India we can see that religion Hindu and Muslims were despots ruled the country, and we can see the religious intolerance, caste taboos, and superstitious practice were dominated in social lives. So once the after the British rule towards India, he says that he felt that India could be civilized, so that he says that they can also introduce the European manners, arts, institutions, and laws in India, so that people can behave properly in a way that not like an olden periods. So they are also civilized, so that Mill is telling that the British should be conquered all the territories, all parts of the India, so that the Indian people can be enlightenment, and as well as they get a happiness, and moreover they will be civilized. Historians classified Indian history into ancient, medieval, and the modern. Like how the James Mill have been divided Indian history into Hindu, Muslims, and the British. Hindus means he thought that only the Vedic people who will be there towards the Hindus, and the Muslim means the Mughal people are there. So he thought that Muslims will be come under that category. So and the British means who came to rule India, so he says that is a British period. So he considered these three as an classified for the India. But where the historians were being against James Mill, what he says that what they were been telling that on not only the Hindus will be in the Hindus or the Muslims, or the Muslims people will not be in the Muslims or the Hindus. We can see the people will be going Hindus or Muslims or whatever may be. We can't come under one conclusions that only the Hindus people will be in only Hindus, or Muslims people or only in Muslims. So they have been classified the Indian history into ancient, medieval, and the modern. Here we can see that the ancient period we can't say any development. It is like an early humans period, and the medieval period we can't say no technology improvement, or they don't have any liberty or equality, or we can't find any freedom towards them. But towards a modernization period, during this period we can see the growth of all the forces of modernity, that is science, democracy, liberty, equality, freedom, everything we can be see. But whereas in medieval period uh, we can't say that a society we've been having all these forces of modernity, and at the same time we can say that we can't say that even the modern period also will be come under this classify. Why? Because during the British were being ruled towards India, they didn't give any freedom to the people, or they didn't give any equality or liberty, nor the period one of the economic growth and progress also. So many historians they have been telling this period as a colonial period. The 18th century is generally taken as beginning of the modern period of India. In India, under the British rule, that is modern period, people did not have freedom, equality, and liberty. Also, there was no economic growth. Many historians therefore refer to this period as a colonial. The British came to conquer the country and establish their rule, subjugating the local Nawabs and Rajas. They established control over the economy and society, collected revenue to meet all their expenses, bought the goods they wanted at low prices, produced crops they needed for export. By this session is over, we'll see the next heading by next class. Thank you.